Hey friends, we're here for our daily Bible reading. Ezekiel chapter 42. And just before I started this video, I was eating licorice. So I probably got a black tongue and black teeth again. Just ignore it. Ezekiel 42 verse 1. Then he brought me forth into the utter court. And I did look that up the other day. And some call it the inner court, and some call it the little court. So I don't know. I never heard of the utter court before. But here it is again. The way toward the north. And he brought me into the chamber that was over against the separate place, and which was before the building toward the north. Before the length of 100 cubits was the north door, and the breadth was 50 cubits. Over against the 20 cubits which were for the inner court, and over against the pavement which was for the utter court, was gallery against gallery in 3 stories. And before the chambers was a walk of 10 cubits breadth inward, a way of 1 cubit, and their doors toward the north. Now the upper chambers were shorter, for the galleries were higher than these, than the lower, and then the middlemost of the building, for they were in 3 stories, but had not pillars as the pillars of the courts. Therefore the building was straitened more than the lowest and the middlemost from the ground. And the wall that was without over against the chambers toward the utter court on the foreport of the chambers, the length thereof was 50 cubits. For the length of the chambers that were in the utter court was 50 cubits, and lo, before the temple were 100 cubits. And from under these chambers was the entry on the east side, as one goeth into them from the utter court. The chambers were in the thickness of the wall of the court toward the east, over against the separate place, and over against the building. And the way before them was like the appearance of the chambers which were toward the north, as long as they, and as broad as they, and as their goings out were both according to their fashions, and according to their doors, and according to the doors of the chambers that were toward the south was a door in the head of the way, even the way directly before the wall toward the east, as one entereth into them. Then said he unto me, the north chambers and the south chambers, which are before the separate place, they be holy chambers, where the priests that approach unto the Lord shall eat the most holy things. There shall they lay the most holy things, and the meat offering, and the sin offering, and the trespass offering, for the place is holy. When the priests enter therein, then shall they not go out of the holy place into the inner court, but there they shall lay their garments wherein they minister, for they are holy, and shall put on other garments, and not shall approach to those things which are for the people. Now when he had made an end of measuring the inner house, he brought me forth toward the gate, whose prospect is toward the east, and measured it round about. He measured the east side with the measuring reed 500 reeds, with the measuring reed round about. He measured the north side 500 reeds, with the measuring reed round about. He measured the south side 500 reeds with the measuring reed. He turned about to the west side and measured 500 reeds with the measuring reed. He measured it by the four sides. It had a wall round about 500 reeds long and 500 broad to make a separation between the sanctuary and the profane place. And that's that, y'all. That's the end of chapter 42. I talked to, after I visited my prisoners today, I talked to a sergeant there and told her I had tried a couple of times to talk to the sheriff about talking to a large group of people like every Sunday. And she said it's best to write him a letter and mail it. So I'll write him a letter and mail it. Oh. But she said that he has not allowed that in a while. I don't know why, but she said to write him a letter and maybe he will, but that he hadn't allowed it in a while. And I said, well, what can I do then? I said, because I want to talk to prisoners. She said I could do 4. She was in charge of the, I don't know what she's in charge of, but she was in charge of the visitation part of it anyway. And she said I could do 4 each Sunday, one at a time, 30, well, it says 30 minutes, but they just give you 15 minutes on the phone, and they got plexiglass that thick between you and the prisoner, so there's no talking except through the phone, and I don't want to sit there for 15 minutes just staring at them, so instead of 30 minutes, I'll have 15 minutes, and but that's better than none, and I'll get 4 each Sunday, so that starts next Sunday. And I told her, I said, I don't know anybody, in jail other than my housekeeper, and she's getting out on Wednesday. Maybe she's got to go see the judge, and maybe she's thinking she'll get out on Wednesday. I said, can you just pick me 4 that never gets any visitors and let me talk to them? And she said, okay. And she, right off the top of her head, she knew 4, and I've got somewhere, she gave me their names and what time I get to see each one. So I got 4 of them lined up for this next Sunday. That's better than none. So that's that, y'all. And I think I'm probably going to go to bed pretty soon. This old bald-headed redneck's tired, and I got pain. So I'm probably going to go to bed within 15 or 20 minutes. I laugh, but I'm not joking. And I don't know what time it is. 7:18. I'll probably be in bed by 7:30, and that's no lie. I'm tired. I hurt. Right now, I'm going to get this video uploading. That's it for now, y'all. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. God bless all of you. And y'all, I know I give y'all a lot to pray for, but y'all pray for these prisoners I'm going to be talking to. The one today, or the first one today, was crying, and it almost had me crying, and it's tears of joy, not tears of remorse. Well, it might have been partially remorse on their part. I don't know, but it wasn't tears of, I don't know what they were tears of. I was talking about Jesus when they started crying, and about their need for Jesus and what Jesus did for them because Jesus loved them. And I told a story about the Apostle Paul, writing books in the Bible from his prison cell. And so I said, just because you're in prison doesn't mean you're a bad person. And anyway, that person was crying. And the sergeant I talked to, I was sharing Jesus with her out in the hallway, and she had tears. So I know how to make people cry. Just ask my 4 ex-wives. I'm done, y'all. God bless you, friends.